it's Addie Kelzer with Urban Fitness Twin Cities, and today Keita is going to be walking me through a couple of exercises that are really actually full body, but specifically focused on your abs. So these exercises could be appropriate for a lot of different people, but specifically they are for me today because I'm in my second trimester of pregnancy, and so we focused and found exercises that are going to be pregnancy appropriate. So obviously if you are pregnant, you know your body better than anybody else. Do what feels right for you, but maybe try the easier version of this exercise first before you move on to the single leg version. So Keita, go ahead and show me what I'm going to do today.
Okay, so we're going to do a plank into a downward dog, back into a plank. So as I said, this is a lot about core, which is always a little different when you're pregnant. But what we're going to start with is a plank straight armed on your hands. Yep. So the most important thing especially when you're pregnant, is that you don't let your hips drop too low. You almost even maybe want them a little higher than where you're used to being for a plank. So instead of being in that straight line, you're in a little bit safer of a plank, because you don't want to get into your back and you won't want to strain your abs or your baby. So from here, poor Addie is shaking, we're going to move into a downward dog. And to do this, you want to lead up with your hips and push those hips back. But you also want to push back and out of those shoulders, so that instead of keeping all the weight forward, we're pushing it out while your hands push into the ground. And then you move back. Yep. Also try and keep your shoulder blade nice and wide by keeping that sternum lifted, so you're not putting too much pressure onto your shoulder blades. Even in your downward dog, which if you're really feeling the stretch can be a little hard. Yep, really push back into those hips. Good. So go ahead and come down and rest for just a second. So those are with double leg. We'll next show a single leg version, which is a little bit more difficult. As Addie said, listen to your body. If that was hard enough, stop there. If you're like, well, that was really easy, I want to do something more, we'll try it with a one leg. So same idea, same position. And what we're going to start with is we're going to start with your plank. Yep, and you can start on both legs and push up to your downward dog and then lift your leg, or you can lift it here. I would say start with both legs, push up into your downward dog. Yep, and then in your downward dog, keeping those shoulders nice and wide, sternum nice and wide, you're going to lift that leg parallel. So careful that this hip doesn't lift at all. You want to keep it nice and level so that you're using your hamstring and that low glute and not gripping into your low back. And then you move forward into your plank, keeping that leg up. If this is too hard, you can touch that foot down and then bring it back up again before you go back. Or go back and lift it back up here. So lots of variations with this to kind of go from easy to medium to more difficult. Good. Make sure that you keep that plank a little bit higher. If you're not pregnant and you want to drop those hips, you definitely can drop them to where you're in that flat plank. Good. And then as Addie is demonstrating, you want to make sure you do both sides so that you're even and not walking around like a peg-leg pirate tomorrow.
One other thing I would notice is that in general your joints are going to be a lot more loose. So when you're in that down dog position, you might just want to bend your knee a little bit, because what we're looking to avoid is hyperextending the knee, which is possible in that position if we're just not paying attention to it. So
yep. Same thing with your elbows and your shoulders. That's why you really want to keep those shoulders wide and not just push into it, because your joints are going to be more mobile than you're used to.
Yeah, yeah. Better to be bent than sorry. Okay, let us know if you have any questions about this exercise for during your pregnancy, or for anybody if you wonder how it applies to you. But otherwise, let us know how it worked for you.